Speaking of the president, Maria Bartiromo. Looking forward to having Maria Bartiromo on. I love watching the video of Maria Bartiromo standing right next to President Trump. He's sitting at his desk in the Oval Office, and standing, I can't remember, but I was looking at Maria, and there's Maria Bartiromo right there in the Oval Office. Have you ever been in there before?
I have actually, Jamie,
okay.
Because I interviewed President Bush when he was sitting president. The others I've interviewed, like President Obama, I interviewed on the campaign trail, and President Clinton I interviewed after he was running, the Clinton Foundation. But I went to the Oval Office also another time because I had a Secret Service friend who took me around on a tour, and I brought my mother and my sister there.
Oh, wow.
And it was during President Bush's term. So it was exciting to be back. Actually,
yeah. So
it was terrific.
Yeah. So what was it like? I know that you've been there before, and I've always wondered what it would be like to be standing in this iconic place. What was it like for you?
Well, it was amazing. I mean, being there and looking at the touches that President Trump has put in place in terms of moving, some of the portraits around, and it was really. And then the president has a picture of his father behind the desk. It was an honor, actually. I was very pleased with the interview. We ended up sitting. I sat with him for 30 minutes, and then we walked into the Oval Office. We did the interview in the Roosevelt Room, which is right next door to the Oval Office, and then we walked into the Oval Office and did a little more sort of walk and talk there. But I was very happy with the interview because he gave me a lot in terms of content, and I kicked it off with economic issues, and we talked about healthcare and tax reform, and I think it was really the first time the president had articulated that he, in fact, is still pursuing healthcare, and he needs to do the healthcare reform before tax reform, and he needs it to happen in order to get to tax reform. And this was really critical, I think, and to hear him articulate that basically gave us a realistic blueprint of what we are to expect. For example, after the interview, I am not expecting a border adjustment tax in the tax package. I am expecting now repeal and replace to happen. We'll see when these guys get back from vacation. I mean, they should not have gone on vacation.
Right.
The tax package is going to be, really we need to study what this is going to look like, because the shifting of the power base within the White House is also important to recognize, because Gary Cohn has taken a real leadership role and is gaining influence in terms of the White House economic plan. That is going to have influence in terms of what the tax package looks like. For example, the president campaigned on a 15% corporate tax rate. I don't think that's happening at all.
Oh, really?
At a minimum, it's going to be 20%,
yeah.
I think.
See, that was my...
at a minimum.
Well, that was my concern, because I know that that was a concern, because and that's why people are having issues even with Gary Cohn. They think he's too liberal. He's no Stephen Moore, so to speak. But you wonder whether, because I know that the GOP guys, the mainstream guys like Ryan, those guys have been pushing that 20%. Why? Why not 15%?
Well, this is the debate, because it's all about being revenue neutral or not. I mean, that's why the border adjustment tax came up. They're looking to raise revenue as well as cut taxes, and that is also the reason that health care has to happen before tax reform, because the Obamacare Affordable Care Act included almost $1 trillion of taxes. So the key is to reverse those taxes and then raise the $1 trillion going into the tax reform package to use that $900 billion as part of the way to pay for the tax cuts. And if they're not going to do that, then you're in even deeper, and you're talking about 22%. I don't know.
Right.
But the markets are now reevaluating whether or not the corporate tax rate is going to be 20% or 22%, or I don't know. So, but you're right to say yes. I mean, they are referred to as the Democrats in the White House. It's like an affectionate joke. Gary is part of that faction.
Yeah.
So that was really a very newsworthy thing for
Yeah.
him to get into that. The other thing, and I'll tell you, I'm getting slammed on Twitter by some people because during the conversation about the Syria strike, I was laughing, and I was not laughing, but I was smiling. But I was smiling because of the way the president told me the story, which was also exclusive and really newsworthy to get this kind of nuance that he's going on about. We launched the strikes, the 59 Tomahawk missiles, while we were eating this beautiful piece of chocolate cake. And so, I mean, it was unreal, Jamie. It was unreal. So, yeah, I smiled at that. Of course, I'm not smiling at bombs or at war-torn regions. I mean, ridiculous.
Right.
But, of course, the haters are there, and they're upset that, that the president gave me this time, and we got so much news out of it.
Yeah, I mean, it's the Twitter is just it's sometimes it's absolutely where common sense and sanity go to die. It's too bad, but
Right.
I saw that, and I thought it was a very interesting little sidelight. I mean,
Me too. It was really interesting.
Here's the bottom line.
I loved it. I loved the interview because and then when he talked about North Korea, we all know that North Korea is an increasing threat. And the president showed leadership and strength, by explaining the armada that was headed toward the Korean Peninsula.
Right.
So I just think that also showed, and what this, what we saw yesterday, the mother of all bombs,
Right.
Killing 36 militants, no civilians. So I think, Jamie, frankly, I said this earlier on my show, on the morning show on the Fox Business Network, Mornings with Maria, I said, I think that the era of leading from behind is over.
Right. Yeah. And so is the era of having a president who speaks like every word coming out of his mouth is a passage from the Bible. And we got so tired of that with President Obama acting as if every single conjunctive sentence was, just so critical. And when you talk about the chocolate cake thing, that's a reflection of President Trump is a loose guy. I mean, that's how he comports himself. I mean, listen, we met him when he was here at a rally. I was really astounded by just how congenial, loose, relaxed the guy is when he's hanging out with people. I mean, I'm amazed by it. And, and he's quippy, and I'm assuming that he's like that with you. You guys actually kind of have a history, right? You guys have known each other for a while, right?
Well, not really.
Okay.
I interviewed him a couple of times when he was in business. Obviously in real estate, I had him on a few times. That's on CNBC in real estate, but I don't know him that well.
Okay.
I've met him more so over the election process. Of course, you remember that I moderated 2 Republican primary debates. And so I spent time studying his policy and understanding. But, yeah, I definitely have had him on before as a guest. So I have, I know him, but it's not like I have some history, no.
Yeah, and I still understand even when he's talking, even when we're talking about the Tomahawk missiles. I mean, are we supposed to mourn the fact that we fired Tomahawk missiles at a chemical weapon delivery devices that are killing children? I mean, you know.
Right. Should we feel sorry that we are, attacking back at the regime who just killed their people? Children, so exactly.
Great.
That's how I felt too, Jamie.
All right.
It was terrific, and I really appreciate you having me on the show to talk about it. I'm excited about my program on Sunday. We're going to run more of the president, as well as get reaction to what's happening this weekend.
Yeah, I'm the whole tax reform issue is fascinating, and I know you're digging deep into it, and this will be interesting to see. I mean, listen, the 20%. If it's not 15, 20 is still low. So, I mean, I guess technically
I think 20% would be fine for to move the needle on economic growth. I mean, the thing I like about this administration is their priority is growth. And that's all he keeps going back to. And I think that's totally appropriate because we haven't seen, more than 2% in so long.
Well, I know you're going to be working, but I hope you have a blessed Easter, Maria Bartiromo, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Jamie. A blessed Easter to you, and a blessed Easter to all of your viewers and listeners.
Thank you. And they're on Twitter telling you how awesome you are. So I just want to let you know that. That's for sure.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks so much.
All right.
Bye-bye.
See ya. Have a good one. At Maria Bartiromo.